With his wife Brandy, 3 stepdaughters, and 2 biological daughters, Venus and Serena, Richard Williams resides in Compton, California. Even before they were even born, Richard has been laying the groundwork for his ambitious goal of making Venus and Serena into successful tennis players. Every day, Richard and Brandy work as security guards and nurses, respectively, and coach Venus and Serena. Richard puts forth a lot of effort to find the girls a qualified coach, producing videos and brochures to market their abilities, but he hasn't been successful. One day, Richard takes the girls to see Paul Cohen, the coach, who is now working out with Pete Sampras and John McEnroe. He reluctantly agrees to watch the girls rehearse, and is afterwards impressed. The Williams family, however, cannot afford professional coaching, so Paul declines to instruct either child for free. Instead, he chooses Venus, leaving Serena to continue working with Brandy. Venus receives encouragement from Paul to compete in junior competitions. She becomes successful right away, but Richard constantly reminds Venus and her sisters to stay modest despite their success. Unbeknownst to Richard, Serena registers for a match at one of Venus' events. The family is viewed as outsiders in the primarily white, upper-class rivalry while both girls continue to flourish. Although Richard meets with prominent agencies, he completely removes his daughters from the junior circuit out of concern that they will be taken advantage of. Paul cautions Richard that his choice will ruin their chances of becoming professional, but Richard is adamant and dismisses Paul as coach. In order to watch the girls play, Coach Rick Matchey goes to California. He hires the girls after being impressed, and the family moves to Florida to train at his facility. Rick is taken aback when Richard reiterates that the girls won't play juniors. Instead, they'll train and go to school like other little girls. Throughout the next 3 years, doubts concerning Richard's approach to the girls and his desire for media attention are raised by the media and Rick. Venus reveals to Rick her desire to go pro. Richard hesitantly agrees, but then backs out because he fears Jennifer Capriati, a student of Rick's who is purportedly experiencing burnout and has recently been detained for drug use, would end up in a similar situation. Venus, Brandy, and Rick's friendships with Richard are strained as a result of the choice. He reconciles with Venus after a disagreement with Brandy and allows her to participate in the forthcoming Bank of the West Classic in Oakland, California. The family meets with a Nike executive before the competition, who extends an impressive sponsorship offer worth $3 million. The family as a whole decides to reject Rick's invitation even though he strongly encourages them to do so since they think Venus would receive more lucrative offers once she starts to play. Venus initially has trouble against Shawn Stafford in her first professional match, but she eventually prevails. In her upcoming encounter against top-seeded Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, she is a significant underdog. Venus wins the opening set and is in the lead in the second when Vicario appears to be playing games by taking an extended restroom break. After bouncing back, Sanchez Vicario wins the second set and the match. Venus is consoled by Richard and Brandy, who encourage her to be proud. A sizable mob of fans is waiting to applaud her as the family exits the stadium, and Rick informs Richard that several significant shoe firms are eager to meet with Venus. An epilogue states that 9 months later, at the age of 15, Venus will sign a $12 million, or $21 million in 2020, contract with Reebok. In the years that followed, she would win Wimbledon 5 times and became the first woman of African American descent to hold the top spot during the Open era. Serena joined Venus as a professional 2 years after she did, and she went on to win 23 Grand Slam titles and is widely regarded as the greatest female tennis player in history. Please subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching.